What is up, guys? It's Mega and welcome back to another video. Guys, I'm playing Lyrilusc. Pure Lyrilusc is my favourite deck of all time. Shame Tri-Brigade's murdered it, but what can you do? Ever since then, I've been kind of like on the damn for been playing this in my on and off, but I've decided, you know what, let's try and bring it back for the next format, and this is so far what we've got. So, I won't know, I took it to a locals yesterday for like playtesting it, and we won 2, tied 1, and lost 1. Lost in the final against plants. What can you do against plants? You just brick on last game. What can you do? Game 3 brick. Oh my god, go first. That was absolutely horrible. Other than that, I'd actually say we performed well. There wasn't a kind of situation where I felt like we were underpowered. So let's go for it, guys. So starting us off for your Lyriluscs: 3 Wobbler, 2 Sparrow, 3 Canary, 1 Swallow, and 1 Wagtail. Now, I've kind of settled on these ratios because it's like Canary and Wobbler, arguably the best ones you can actually have. Sparrow is again arguably a best one, but it's useless on its own. Like, you need the others in conjunction with Sparrow. Like Wagtail and Swallow, they're kind of bad. You don't really want to see them, you want to search into them. That's why they're only at 1s off. Sparrow is the only exception where it's like, it's kind of the same as Wagtail, where it gets a monster, not a spell. So it's like you could bump this up to 3, but I really found 2, I wasn't particularly like missing it. So it's like it showed up when it wanted to. You could bump it up to 3, but I just liked it too. But this is it literally for your Lyrilusc, because you can keep getting this back and you just keep recurring back off of your Robin. That's the word. So other than that, guys, we have extenders. So we have 2 copies of Slower Swallow. This is like a free extender plus a little like draw power if you need it. So Slower Swallow has an effect where if there are 2 monsters on the field with the same level, doesn't matter if your opponent, you could control 2 monsters same level, so you can look against the Splight matchup. You literally just summon out this straight away. Because it doesn't trigger from the hand, you can just special summon it, and its effect triggers as cost to draw 2 cards on your next draw phase instead of 1. So you see what I mean? It's a level 1 wing beast. It's a wind. It's everything for Lyrilusc, and it's a free extender. You can use it for an extender. You can use it for a draw, depending on how much you are winning. Then we've got 1 Illusion of Chaos, 1 Souls. So Illusion of Chaos is like an additional Souls, because Illusion of Chaos can add Souls to hand. Souls can just then pitch the Illusion of Chaos, special summon it. It's level 1. All of the Lyrilusc cards, the Xyzas, are generic, so you don't need to worry about having to play Lyriluscs. You could kind of run 2 Souls with 1 Chaos, but then you kind of run the thing about bricking, so I like to 1-on-1 because you're kind of playing 2 Souls anyway with this, and you can pitch some of your spell and traps to draw an additional, so never too wrong with that. That's I like just these kind, but again you can add more. Hand trap lineup. So we're basically running 3 of each of the best ones to hit this format. So you could, like I say, so we've got 3 Ash, 3 Ghost, 3 Crow, 3 Veiler. You could cut 1 Ghost Ogre to make it 2. If you wanted to run the 3rd Sparrow, or make this 41 cards, so up to you which one you kind of want to do. I just like this at 3, but again, I'm thinking about maybe putting this down to 2, but have a feel like what you feel like. Ash is near enough the just fantastic generic. Crow is arguably one of the best hand traps in the next format. It's a level 1 Dark Wing Beast. It's searchable off Sparrow, searchable off Starling. So it's not a once per turn. It can out anything in the graveyard. So this is actually a secret MVP. And then Effect Veiler again is a level 1. So again it's searchable off Starling. You can't search it off of Sparrow because it's not Wing Beast, but nice little addition to go in for Monster Negate. And also any of these 3 can go into Hulk, so we can go and do some access code turbo. For an additional Poppy Pop. So that's it for the hand trap lineup. Spells, we've got for our Rodas, 3 Jack in the Hand, 3 Bird Call. So Jack in the Hand kind of does the same thing as Bird Call, but it's kind of a bit risky. So you have to reveal 3 level 1 monsters with different names. Then your opponent gets to add one of them to their hand. You get to add one of them to your hand. The other goes back into the deck. So this actually does minus your deck by 2, which is pretty nice. But you have to give your opponent the card. So you have to play around the fact that, say you've got no monsters on the field and you play this, your opponent's most probably going to steal your Wobbler or steal your Canary. So you do have to be mindful of like when you're playing Jack. And then Bird Call is basically a Rhoda / Foolish Burial all in one card, and it can give you an additional special summon of a Lyrilusc with a different name than what you're added. So basically we've got like 6 Rhodas in the deck, so you're basically playing like 9 Canary, 9 Wobbler. Then other Lyrilusc spell, we've got the 1 Garnet, the Bird Sanctuary. You don't really want to draw this, but it's a nice thing to pitch off of souls if you want to draw a card. It itself allows you to draw 1 card, and also you can do a little sweet FTK with this with your Nightingale Xyz. Over to extenders, we've got Foolish Instant Fusion at 1 for 1. A couple of ones off, and another one off is Harpie's Fur Duster, just some back row hate. Also, it's searchable off our trap. 1 for 1 again is a near enough a 1 card starter because you can pitch any trap, any monster, summon Sparrow. You can't, if you summon Wobbler of this, you won't get to summon from your hand off Wobbler. Wobbler only triggers if it's summoned from hand. So 1 for 1, you're most probably going to go for Sparrow. Sparrow's effect to add a monster. So like you could literally just do that, go into like Link Revo, and you add Canary off of Sparrow, then you can just bring back the Sparrow off Canary's effect. So 1 for 1's really good. Then Instant Fusion, we're running the Fusion Lyrilusc, just because again it's a level 1 wing beast that we can use as an extender. So all in all, really great. Then we are running, finally to run out spells, 3 Dark Ruler. Best card near enough in the deck other than the Lyrilusc, because go second, you lose dice roll, great. Against Spalites, murders. Against like the tier elements with the Winder, murders. And even like you think, oh, well then you can't damage them, you could just make an 8-mat Zeus. So you really couldn't care less if you OTK them. So if you use Zeus Spalite when you've got that many materials, what can your opponent do? Jack Rat. But then finally to round out the deck, 3 copies of Harpie's Featherstorm. This alone is like VFD, but for your Lyrilusc. So if you control any Wind Wing Beast, which is all the Xyzers, all of the monsters, your opponent can't play any monster effect for the next turn. Like, well, they can activate them, it'll just be activated and negated. So, and also if this card is destroyed by a card effect, so say they place Harpie's Feather Duster, then you chain this, its effect will still trigger to let you search Harpie's Feather Duster to your hand. So yeah, so you've got like a searchable Feather Duster, which is really, really cool. Then as for the extra deck, guys, going on to Lyrilusc Independent Nightingale. Again, like I say, it's just literally an instant fusion target for an extender. Its effect also in itself can deal your opponent 500 damage. Your opponent can't do anything to stop that. So nice little cheeky burn damage. Then another one off is Starling, because you know it's limited to 1 because of Tri Brigades. Boo, Tri Brigades. This can give any monster 600 or 600 plus attack points on summon. Its other effect, you can attach one to add any level 1 monster from your deck to your hand, which is really good, nice extender, and also you're going to use it most probably to Drago Future, or little cheeky effect, you can use this to OTK. So if your opponent's got a big monster, you can just crash into it, and then your opponent takes the same damage as you do. Combine this with Nightingale, you don't take the damage, but your opponent does. So nice little cheeky effect. Then we have One Thrush, because it's a spell trap card. It can target any spell trap card your opponent controls, shuffle back into the deck. Also, if an Xyz or if any other monster would battle, you can detach your materials. It gains 300 attack for each material you detach, so it's kind of like a Starling where you can boost the attack points of your monster even more. 2 Nightingale, basically arguably one of the best ones because it can make it so all your Lyrilusc monsters can't be shown battle by card effects, and you take no battle damage. If you use Sparrow to make this, it also can't be targeted, so it has like a crap ton of protection. It can attack directly, and it has an attack for each material. So it has 6 materials, it has 6 attacks, and it gains 200 attack for each material. Plus that with Canary, it's just going to gain an extra 200 attack. It's just literally an OTK machine with assembled Nightingale. 2 Robin to round up our Lyrilusc Exceeders. If I'm going to go to Drago Future turn 1, I'd normally make 1 Robin. The reason why is because Nightingale is really good for the grind game, like if you want to go try and get some cheeky damage off, and also you can like use its stall. And I like to save Thrush because I don't want to realistically out your only like monster spell or trap removal. And also if your opponent does seem to like nib you when you play Robin, you get to add back a Lyrilusc from the graveyard. Like if this card is outed by your opponent, you get to add any Lyrilusc from your grave back to your hand. So, and also it's not a once per turn. If your opponent special summons, detach 1 material, bounce it back to the hand. So, all in all, Robin is really, really powerful. Then next we've got the Utopic Future Draco Future package. Incredibly easy in Lyrilusc. You have any 2 Lyrilusc Exceeds, go to Utopic Future, Draco Future. Draco Future is basically an omni negator is a monster negator that can't be drawn by battle by card effects. Really, really great for this deck. Then I run the 1 Doubted Magician into Zeusy Boy. If I had more Zeuses, I'd maybe run another Zeus because double Zeus is actually pretty easy to make in this deck. And if you fail the OTK with Assembled Nightingale, you can easily go into Downard and then go into Zeus and have like 6 or 8 materials on Zeus, which is incredibly powerful when you think about it. Then I'm running a little smidge of a Link engine in this deck. You could quite happily put Exceeders in this, but you do lose more to D-Barrier, but I think people are more going to stay away from D-Barrier in the next format, but we'll see how it goes. So we've got 1 Link Rebo, 1 Hulk. This card should be Selene. It's actually a Nightmare Unicorn because I don't have Selene. Like, I've ordered it, it just hasn't arrived. I had to do yesterday locals without Selene, which is really, really horrible. But Selene would be the better one, and then 1 Access Code Talker. So, Link Rebo is basically because all of your monsters are level 1. Like, say you've only got a Sparrow, say you've got a Sparrow Canary in hand. You can just link your Sparrow, link it off for your Link Rebo. Canary is preferred to target your Sparrow, special summon it. Sparrow then triggers that level 1 monster. So sometimes you need to put your monster in your graveyard. Same with Wagtail, because Canary can just resurrect them back. So and also Link Rebo has a nice little effect where if your opponent tries to imperm or effect Veiler your or target with any card effect of your Sparrow and Wagtail, you can tribute them off for Link Rebo who's in your grave, and then they get around the protection. So, well, they get around the target effect. So, really, really cool guy. The reason why I'm running these 3 is because we're running like we're running 9 tuners in the deck. And it's like any one of those plus any one of your monsters, you can just go straight into Hulk Vibarax, which then brings out a second effect Veiler to go into Selene. Then Selene is a 1 card Access Code Talker, because you then resurrect your effect Veiler to go into Access Code. You would have like 3 pops with it, so like, and also it would be on 5,300. So it's just another way to OTK if you've like burnt through all your Lyriluscs, or you're like under D-Barrier, so you can't use Exceeders. Great, I'll just go into a Link and hit you for damage then. So it's like, that's also another way for you to do. So that's what I liked. And I didn't really regret actually, because when I went up against a Princess player who used the Water Barrier statue, I just made Hulk and he was really confused, and it was like, oh, this actually came in clutch. For the extra deck guys, starting off with monsters, we've got 3 Golem, mainly for the Spelite matchup, because you can just see, like, they're going to end on a good board, just Lava Golem them, and the thing about Lava Golem, you can't normal summon the turn you play Lava Golem. Lyriluscs can do the full combo and near enough play the entire time, like 9 out of 10 duels, without even using their normal summon. So Lava Golem's never really a hindrance to Lyriluscs. Then if decks that aren't Spelite, we've got 3 Nib. Nib is a nice hand trap in the side now. Like, you still need to respect the Nib. Nib does kill us, by the way. It's the only hand trap Lyrilusc kind of fear. So you do need to be worried about that. It came in so clutch. Went up against a DDD and Marincess player. Nib just kept nibbing them. They just really did not appreciate that. And yeah, just really good this format. Nib is still surprisingly good this format for a decks that's not Spelite. So take that as you will. Then we've got 3 Imperm. The reason why Imperm is in the side is because realistically, Effect Veiler is better than Imperm in our deck because we're doing the Selene. If you're not doing the Selene thing, I'd recommend Imperm over Effect Veiler, because then you can't be caught by the grade. So But if I know I'm going up against like decks where it's like, say you're going up against like tier elements, where Go Stoker is less effective. Just side out Effect Veiler for Imperm. You swap a Pop for a Monster Negate. Never wrong. Have a nice day. And then spells we've got for basically back row hate, because the one thing Lyrilusc hates is basically like Floodgates or like Eldritch decks. So free Twin Twister, free Lightning Storm. Mainly just to, like I say, hit the back row. You could side out and argue maybe Lightning Nibiru or Lava Golem for like Cosmic if you're really scared of the back row decks. So yeah, but all in all, I liked this one. They all come in handy. I didn't, apart from the last duel, I didn't really brick really at all, and that was really a hard break. I really can't do anything against the plants, and I just couldn't survive long enough. But all in all, yeah, guys, that is my deck for the Lyriluscs. I'm going to do a quick hands test to see how it goes, and we will be back to you in a second. Red did all of it again, so let's see how this goes. So I want to know, last night I didn't win a single dice roll and I had to go second every time. So let's just pretend we're still going to go second. So we've got Ash, Dark Ruler, Crow, God, Harpie's Feather Storm, High Feather Storm. So like I say, this is a break. Happens all the time. Something you're going to draw. To be honest, the first time in my life I've actually opened Double Storm, so it is what it is. Our top deck would be Bird Call. So this is playable in a way if you don't use Crow for the next turn. So it's depending on what you're going up against, right? So you can say they've got a board and you just don't want to waste your Ash like against Polites, you just Dark Ruler them. You would play Bird Call, hopefully get, like if you go up against Polites, you could get Swallowed, Special Summon, or you can go for Wobbler. Personally, I would go for Wobbler. You can Special Summon out the Wobbler, Normal Summon the Crow. Then you can Xyz these two into your Starling, play Starling's effect to detach one, add back Canary, or add Canary, play Canary's effect targeting Wobbler in your graveyard, summon them both out, use them to Xyz summon, and you could go into Nightingale. Personally, I'd go for Nightingale because you'll gain 200 more attack points from this, and yeah, you can't, like, you could make, now you've got a choice, right? You could make a format Zeus with this. Like, you would out your own like recurrence, that's fine. The thing is, we've got two Harpie Storms. So, personally, I wouldn't go into Zeus. I'd be setting this. Because I'd be setting your Storm, because then you play Nightingale's effect, your opponent's going to do like Toad effect to negate, right? Or something like that. You just play Harpie's Feather Storm, boom. Like, if they've got like the red as well from the other monster negate, you set both. Because then you've got both on the field to negate them. You're going to survive next turn. Turn between this, we drew a Sparrow. We'll place Starling's effect again next turn. So say we had to do this, so we would detach you. So we had to play around both the Toads, so we've used both of these. You would most probably add now. So against all the negates, right? So they will have to be careful. So they have to be careful because they know we can just Zeus them at any time. So the most players save some stuff for Zeus. So personally, you want to bait Owler. You want to bait them out, right? So we could go, if you want to bait them out, you could go for Wagtail, because you could just normal summon this, then equip it to Nightingale's material. Then if they don't negate that, you've got a format Zeus. You could go for which we can even go for Souls in this instance, because we're doing it off the Starly's effect. So you could play Souls effect for a free summon, normal summon out this, and then it can't be targeted. So you could special summon out this if they want to stop. If they don't stop you, dump the illusion. You could then make, I don't know. Let's give us something here to make. Actually, in this instance, I'd make another Nightingale because this one can't be targeted. Next, you'd use these two. And you could go into Utopic Future, then Draco Future. You see what I mean? You've just literally... Now you can attack over the crow, you can attack over the toad, attack over the elf. And that with a brick, and that's actually being realistic what we were playing against. It's not actually bad. The deck can just keep going, and that's with a very hard brick actually. Let's just see what else we can get if say we're going first. Let's try and do like a go first one instead of like trying to do a go second, break the board. Right, so like I say, we're going to go first with this hand instead of going second. Let's have a quick bash. Watch it now. Watch me now just break again, just because why not? Just for little kicks. We're just going to break. I really hope we don't. It's like you can kind of burn. I might consider bumping up the whitetail to Sparrow up to 2 because it's to 3. You just don't want to brick on it. That's the only thing. You just don't want to brick too much on that card. Because then you're really screwed because you have to know someone and then just pass. You really want to see the others and not really Sparrow. Well, you want to see the others and Sparrow. So we're going to go first, guys. We've got Jack in the hand, Storm, Bird Call, Effect Veiler, Sanctuary. So that is actually a pretty good hand. Like going first, this is actually as best as you can near enough get it. Maybe Wobbler would have been better to like hard draw it. Okay, so you're going to start by playing Jack in the hand to like bait out some stuff. If this goes through, you've got a choice of what you would want to go for, right? Normally, what I would go for is Canary, Sparrow, and Canary, Warbler, and Sparrow. Because we've already got a second one of this. This is why I run 2. You can run another one. Like if your opponent, normally your opponent's going to give you this because it's like you're baiting them, right? Because you've got no monsters on the field, so they think, right, Wobbler is ideally one of the best choices because then you lose the special summon off this. Canary you can take as well because it's like recurrence. Sparrow is ideally the one you want, but either way, both of these two work with what we've got in hand because of Bird Call. So we're going to say your opponent takes the Sparrow, takes the Wobbler. Let's be realistic. You're going to take the Sparrow. Canary gets shuffled back into the deck. Then we're going to play the Bird Call. Special summon the Sparrow. Well, Bird Call will let us add a monster. Let's still pretend we're playing around some crap. So what I will do is add the Whitetail. In case this does get then you play this effect to add a monster. This reason why I'd add the Wagtail instead of the Swallow is because in case this gets input, like impermed, effect veilered, if it does, that's fine because you just normal summon this, go into the rank, go into Starlight, get the Canary, and then you can still use all of them. Like you still don't lose to imperm or effect veiler. Right? If you did the other way, you would. So say if the effect does go through, you'd add the Swell. You'd add this time. Play this effect, special summon out both of them. Its effect to re-add Bird Call in case crap goes wrong. So you've got some recurrence for the next turn. Don't know why I'm shuffling yet. Then we are going to... You would use both of these two because you're going to go into Starly. Starly's effect is going to make it so you don't need to do the on-summon effect. So you play its effect to detach 1. It can't be targeted by card effects. So your opponent only out is basically Ash. But they would have asked you most probably by now of either one of these 3. So this is going to add the Canary. Then you can do Canary's effect, targeting Sparrow. Summon them all out to the field. Then you can overlay all 3 of them. In this case you have a choice, right? You could go for... you have a choice. And personally, with what we've got, again, I'd go for Nightingale. I'd go for Nightingale over Robin because we have Harpie Stormfall. Or Harpie Storm. The reason why is because we can quite happily sit on this and OTK them and not really have to worry about anything. You can like... If you go into Robin, that's fine. It's just that if they put a monster with a bigger attack, you're kind of screwed. But let's just say we do the other way around. Let's say we do Robin. Make Robin. Then we would play Bird Sanctuary. We'll play Bird Sanctuary's first effect, where you can draw one card because you control an exceeds with more than 3 materials. Or 3 or more materials. Any exceeds, so even if you've got like your big Mat Zeus, you can still draw a card off Zeus. Or Draco Future. So we'll draw a card. We add Slow Swallow. We haven't normal summoned. I believe we haven't normal summoned. So what we can do, normal summon this. Tribute this off. Next turn we'll draw 2 cards instead of 1. Then we'll play Bird Sanctuary's other effect to detach these, or to attach these to Robin. So she has 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. She's on 2,700 attack because she gains another 200 from Canary and control cannot be switched. She can't be targeted to a Sparrow. And her own effect can bounce back 5 monsters next turn. You'd set Harpie's Featherstorm. You still have recurrence for next turn. We have an effect Veil at 5 bounces. Your opponent isn't playing any monster effects. That's pretty good to say you've just... pretty good. And we're going to draw 2 cards next turn. So, I don't know. And also a nice little thing is, if you use your Wagtail, you'd always use Wagtail to do the first bounce. Wagtail can just equip itself back onto the Robin. So... what would say we've got around opponent still managed to opponent special summoned out twice and we played this. Let's just say that's what we did. So we get to draw 2 more times. We get to draw 2 cards on our opening turn. Here we go. If you don't OTK with this, because you can now just set up now you can just set up your now you can just set up the Nightingale FTK, and if you don't, you have Harpie's Featherstorm. See what I mean? This deck can, and also the good thing about Lyriluscs is they can play through quite a few hand traps or interruptions depending on which ones they are. The ones that they do struggle with is Floodgates. So take that as you will. And I do hope this kind of helped, guys. I really do enjoy the birds. People really did underestimate it. Because someone was like, "Wait, you're playing pure Lyrilusc," and I managed to win against him, which was just absolutely hilarious. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Without further ado, take care.